affected when you go over bumps, we can get rid of that completely too. If that's
Yeah, so
something
if
that you
like in
guys
races
want.
people keep going over the curb and they get a speed boost, we know how to remove that so it doesn't
So
give
you
you
will
any speed
we'll
boost at all.
yeah, we'll take I'm taking some notes. So we'll throw up a poll for the removing the curb boosting and whatnot. One thing though is that it does predict the hydraulics of cars. So any cars with hydraulics are kind of just fucked. Last to remove curb boosting, absolutely cooked. Well, yeah, with that, we'd have to go through every car again and ensure that they are where they are. So our plan is not to just remove it and fuck everyone. Um, but okay, enough sidestep.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Levi, it's not really a skill check. It's kind of, you know, bug abuse. You're kind of exploiting the fact that driving up a curb gives you speed
Yeah,
boost. Not really realistic, but yeah, we'll figure that out in the future.
you'll still gain speed going downhill. It just won't be this like weird plus 10 miles an hour hitting a bump. Okay. Yeah, I heard a lot about the revolution. We'll have to look into that too. Um, okay, so then jumps, kind of good in where they are. People like them. So the next topic is spam tackling, which is mainly the issues Crim spam tackling cops for repair or in a foot chase. How do you guys feel about that? Is it an issue?
Yeah, G also increased the cooldown time, so you can't do
Oh,
it as much.
okay, so that was just changed. All right.
Ops also spam tackle. How is the tackling? Can someone describe about it? Like, do you hit like a button when you're running near someone? Shifty, yeah.
Shifty? Okay.
It's not the one where it like does an animation. It just ragdolls them, ragdolls both
Okay.
people, or does it do like a synced animation?
Oh, you laid down for
Okay,
a long
rag.
time
That's
too.
good.
Okay. Yeah, that's a bit weird. Um,
How long are
just
they
kind of.
down for?
Someone said 20 seconds, but we'll have to
20
look at the
seconds?
5 seconds, 10
10.
seconds, 10. I
All
feel like
right, no one knows. We'll have to see, but it shouldn't be 20.
yeah,
It's
that's
definitely
something
be
that we
around like
can
5
easily
to
edit.
10, but
I'm not sure exactly what uh, changes G made to it, but maybe that'll be a step in the right direction.
would you
So
guys want like a increased cooldown or shorter duration?
it was increased recently. Okay.
Shorter time on the ground?
Okay.
All right. So yeah, I think everyone agrees that you should be on the ground for a shorter amount of time, maybe.
All right. Yep. I'll put that note down. I'm not sure if G's changes are in yet. He might have done that. So we are aware and we're going to be looking into that though. So
Yeah.
we have a clip here. I'm going to just take a look at it real quick. No, I don't know what that is. Okay. Somebody on fire. But yeah, so it's just a constant cycle. I mean, I don't know. Maybe this isn't really a development thing. Maybe we just have to have players not kind of doing that and people kind of respecting that that's kind of trolly and shitlordy, that just constantly keeping someone in a state of being tackled. Um, but maybe we will have to kind of just increase the
Warning
cooldown on it and
requested.
whatnot to get it back to where it should be for now. Yeah, so Bone Crusher, we'll get into the bugs and whatnot. We'll set up a proper forum for you guys to post all the feedback with jobs, and we'll get a developer to go through all that. Right now, we're just focusing on some other things. Yeah, so I believe G just said that the changes were just made recently, so
Yeah.
I
Give
think
them
we should
another
just
try and then
give it another try, and we'll have maybe a poll on
revisit
this
it.
again. Yeah, note on that real quick. Okay.
Do you want to board crew?
Yeah,
Pilot's
so
boarding started.
I guess we can just answer a quick question on the gang update, as I know you guys have been hearing about that for a bit. So it is being tested in other cities too, and apparently it was having some optimization issues and issues with potentially crashing that city. So
Crew boarding
I
started.
believe that the developers are working on that and getting everything figured out. And if worse comes to worse, we can add a completely different gang system, heavily inspired by somewhere you guys all know.
Rhymes
But-
with
Oh, that's it,
Oddity.
right.
Starts with something.
Yeah, but if this one doesn't work out, guys, like don't worry, we've got backups. We've got other great systems out there that we can introduce to you, see if you like it and whatnot. Yeah. That's
But
another
yeah,
list.
it is pretty much complete. It's the performance of it. It will lead to everyone crashing and disconnecting from the server. So hopefully within like another week or two, the performance issues should be fully ironed out because there are other servers with high population testing it, and yeah, it's okay. We only waited 7 months. I mean, yeah, but I mean it's the final stretch right now, and it's a big project. You know, it has 30,000 lines of code. I'm sure you can respect that it takes time. You know, if you were to try to write 30,000 word essay,
God.
you know, it will take a while, but it is at the final stretch. We can promise you guys that right now. We just need to wait for the performance to be improved.
Yeah. And then I know you guys were talking
Your
about
crew
class
has
2s and
boarded.
whatnot, and we have some good ways we can introduce that as well.
Passengers boarding
With
started.
some new systems, like promoting open world combat and whatnot. But we're kind of getting off topic here, so we'll throw up a poll on the spam tackling. After we'll throw up some polls after the community meeting.
Let me
Some
throw a
great
poll how you
polls.
guys liked us.
No, please don't. No, please don't.
But yeah, let's move into the EMS. EMS describe what like personal vehicles, not from a carpool. What kind of
Yeah, so
and you
I
guys meant
think,
by that?
from my understanding, I believe that like
Whoa,
you guys don't
whoa,
have
whoa,
owned
whoa, whoa,
vehicles, you take a car, it just
Holy
gives you an
crap!
ambulance. It's not a
11 years.
personal one. It's not a
I've been
saved
straight
one.
up for 11
Is my
years.
understanding correct with that?
Holy shnikes. Stamp RP days.
Okay, that's correct.
So they just like spawn them. It's not they can't.
Yeah. So I think they
Move
have
it
vehicles,
personally.
but yeah, they just
Okay.
it'll probably come
Yeah,
out
it
the
should
random
definitely be like
livery
a
and all that.
yeah. Yeah, it'd be a big improvement, letting them be owned and stuff, and having like a EMS garage that you can pull your cars out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If PD has a system, we should be able to just copy that over to the EMS.
Yeah, we'll get that done then too.
You guys want it to be personally owned, right?
Good afternoon.
Yay or nays? EMS? You guys want it to be personally owned?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Okay, let's go with yes. And then more EMS vehicles. I think someone was mentioning they want like SUVs for EMS as well. We could definitely get that.
Yeah.
We have some on standby.
Welcome on board.
Vicky, that's false. There's a casino. So There's
Presley,
some
we
expense.
cannot. Presley, we cannot. Presley, we cannot.
Welcome on board.
what'd you say we cannot about? You're colorblind gang
nothing.
members. What?
No, 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 no.
Oh,
He's lying.
all right, I'll delete it. No, I'm just kidding. I did delete it though. Back onto China.
Good afternoon.
All right. The next topic will be PD gangs. Sorry, PD and having like gang alts and whatnot.
Welcome on
In our recent staff meeting, we kind of talked about this. And I don't know exactly where we arrived, but I know we had some issues with gang leaders, gang members, applying for higher positions in the PD, and then, it kind of just got bad from there. So it seems like a couple people kind of spoiled the batch there.
Hello.
Here's my personal opinions on this, and I think Shane will agree, is that if you're a gang leader, I definitely do not think you should be in a leadership position in the PD.
Yeah, you shouldn't even be in any command position, pretty much.
And then if you are in a gang, I feel like commissioner in the
High
position under
command.
that, which is like chief,
Hello.
because I know you guys have a lot of high command positions here. You have a lot from what I was told. So we're trying to
Holy crap.
kind of get like a best of both worlds here to see what will work and like what will specifically work with the community in terms of because you know we're a whitelisted community, so we should be able to trust you more. But
Yeah, I personally believe that gang members can't reach high command. And gang leaders shouldn't be anywhere near command, but that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Does that seem fair, or? Because I mean, it's kind of like a conflict, you know. If you have a crim and you're in charge of the PD, in charge of prosecuting them, and it's your own gang, it's, you know, if everyone high command or command is gang members, just gonna PD has to be like separate from that. Not many conflict of interest.
how many high positions are there either way? Yeah, but just because not enough cops want it doesn't mean that we just have to get desperate and possibly create a department that is flawed. I just think if you're a gang leader, you 100% should not be in a high command position or really even a police position.
Yeah, and Charlie also added a good point. It's mostly about activity. You know, if you're running a gang, you shouldn't be running the PD as well.
Oh yeah, I think we're gonna be pretty firm on that, but
Yeah, we gotta definitely. We're open to hearing more out. It seems like it's kind of everyone has very different opinions.
yeah, it's a tough one
People
for
aren't
sure.
really jointly collected on this one.
Because I know some people could probably lead a gang and be in a high position with PD, but at the same time, I wouldn't really want that. Uh, I want if you're in a high position of PD, I want you to be dedicated to that position. And obviously, everyone has little biases here and there, but
If you have a
those are just
gang
too
alt,
important.
can you be in command, just not high command, or you can't be in
No, you
command at
can't.
all?
You can't be in command at all, from what I was told. The lowest level of command?
Uh,
Oh, well, I feel like that's kind of already a good
that seems
compromise, then.
fair, or
Yeah, that's
what do you guys think? Seems kind of fair to me, but people brought it up for a reason.
All right, let's push back.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Yeah, you know, with the comments from the best PD members, those some gang members were high command. Yeah, you know, it's case by case sometimes. It's tough to just do a blanket rule on
Departure
it,
checks
but
completed. Bypass
I
pin
think you kind of
inserted.
have to. Making exceptions is just kind of dirty, and you know, people feel kind of cheated and whatnot. Like, oh, he's in the gang and he got it. Why is he being favored? You know, so no.
Oh. Yeah, we'll definitely consider what everyone said, and I think this is a big issue that can't really be answered now from anyone. It's kind of people from all over the
Yeah.
field have different answers, so yeah, we'll
Yeah,
have to
it's
revisit this for sure.
work with the PD, figure it out too.
But can business owners not be in PD command too, or is it just gangs that?
Release parking brakes, please.
So business owners
um,
can't have a PD character?
I think on the same account, right? They can make another character, right? Is that okay or no? Okay, they just can't have it on the same character. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that's kind of like the same thing in a way. Uh, What do you think about that, Shane? Owning a business plus being a cop?
I do see both sides. You know, say Sal wants to speak. All right, Sal, you
Yeah,
can come up here.
I clicked invite. I don't know what happened. Do we both click it at the same time? Oh, there he is.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
I think honestly, I love the way this is going. But I would venture to say that the topic, maybe we have like more discussion in the background. There are some rules in place around businesses and owners. So I think one of the things was business owners can't have a quote unquote criminal record, um, because it doesn't necessarily fit the RP story of a legitimate business owner. Again, these are all rules that have been put in place over a period of time that I think G and I are very aligned on this. We want, and I think for majority, most of the community, we want less rules. The issue is we need a better community mindset on how we approach these things, where we saw business owners shutting down businesses to other gangs or rivals, right? And it was like the only food business open at the time, or only giving them, um, or only supplying things for people they liked and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
there's,
definitely could agree that it shouldn't be businesses shouldn't be run by gang members. I do agree with that, but also I'm kind of view the no crime at all rule as kind of being like no serious crime. Like if a business owner right steals a car and gets arrested, are
Oh,
we gonna take their business?
I think it would be more of
Or
a felony or
wait
like
for
a,
me.
you
yeah, like if
know,
they go
things like
rob banks
that.
and stuff
Right.
and they're actually a crime, that
Exactly.
I think that's
Because I mean, most of the time, from an RP perspective, it doesn't make sense, right? And then like, there's another issue to this too, where the PD has always been instructed to kind of leave the businesses alone if there's somebody there with a warrant, right? So I hate to say it, but it is a bit of a touchy topic, and I think it does need to be ironed out a bit. But I think overall, the community um, should look at supporting the best way to do this moving forward, and maybe we can pull some business owners aside, right, and say, hey, what works, what doesn't work, and some criminals and some gang members.
yeah. Should definitely have a business meeting and a gang meeting as well. Maybe a PD and cop meeting. I mean,
Yeah.
PD and crim meet.
Yeah, definitely.
Please set parking brakes.
But I think right now gangs can own businesses, right?
Do
In the current
gangs own
state.
them on like they have someone that's
Yeah,
legal own them, or is like the
yeah.
actual gang
There's
leader with a huge record owning them?
there's loopholes to everything, right? If the gang owner can't own it, they'll send somebody that's not in their gang to own it, and then they'll just run it through them. AKA, that's the Ballers and Ava, right? They do that.
Yeah, it's kind of the
Um,
best way to go about it, really.
so Um, that rule was removed though a while back, by the way. It was in one of the town halls where we were losing some businesses or activity in businesses because I guess people just weren't interested or they didn't find value in it. So we removed that rule that gang members or leaders can no longer run businesses. So I think right now it's open to pretty much anybody. And yes, PD can also own a business.
Okay. How do you go about getting a business? Do you need to get a license from the DOJ after you get approved by staff or your proposal?
Right. So there's
Uh,
different perspectives from it. So you do the staff proposal, right? The business ticket. You put your proposal in. If it's approved, yes, you move forward, and then you go to the DOJ for the license.
All right. So I think right now proposals kind of go through the ticket system. I'm thinking more we
Right.
just like streamline that and get a application out.
It would be
Um,
phenomenal. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. It would be
oh, you're not.
phenomenal. It's
Yeah.
actually one of the topics, right? If you open up the mayoral thing, if they can do it more through RP, and have the businesses filtered through the mayor and then up into the staff team, right? To say,
Yeah.
hey, okay, we'll consider this as a proposal, and that way it's more
Hmm.
more natural and more done through RP.
Yeah. So my biggest thing is that ultimately whatever path you choose, the staff is kind of going to have to. It's going to have to be run past, upper staff and senior staff and management and all that to make sure you are a good fit. But once you get that approval, yeah, I'd like the rest of it to just completely be like DOJ and whatnot. So, we're definitely gonna make changes to that because I don't really like the proposals. The proposals in the ticket system. It
Acting
works, but
funky.
it seems just a little bit messy and unorganized. And then, is there an official document for like the business rules and whatnot?
Yeah, we
Okay,
have
great.
documents out for a lot of that stuff.
And do
And
they have to? You guys have to pay like taxes and whatnot on your business?
no, no, we used to front the payments for them and then do like a business loan.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
at this point, I'll say it. I,
And
I'll say it directly. I guess we were desperate for business owners, so that way
yeah,
we didn't
okay,
actually charge them with anything.
okay.
Hmm.
All right, and then um, so
Extra
the
fun there.
loaning
Yeah,
was
it's a
that
good thing
through?
to have.
Yeah, was that through the loans? Was that through like staff or was that through the
It
real
was through
estate?
staff,
Okay. All right.
which again, this was before the Reloaded revamp. And Reloaded, we
Yeah.
did away with the loans,
Okay.
and just
Yeah,
kind
and
of get everybody to business.
that's understandable for the start, just to get things out there and operational and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And again, like I was gone all of last week, and I wasn't really here for the initial transition.
Yeah, it's
I'm
more
okay
so
to sit
happening
down.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to sit down and talk to you guys, whatever you guys need.
I love that. Absolutely. Okay. Well, let's keep moving. So we already kind of touched about the vehicle tuning. Um, I
Whoa,
think.
whoa, whoa! We gotta tell everyone how good they are and how
Oh.
great they're doing,
Okay. True.
and we need to
Well,
recognize them. Can't
okay.
just skip
Well.
over them. These are great people right here.
All right. Well, go ahead and recognize them, but then I'm gonna have to throw some salt in
You
there too.
guys are
So go
doing
ahead.
it. Did everyone have fun last night? You guys had fun, gangs. You guys were awesome.
Approaching 2-4
Any civs have fun last night?
And remember, it was the
Wanna-
first iteration, so it won't be perfect. But we love events like that, and especially with Crazy or Goodman. He loves doing
You guys have
stuff
been
like that,
doing
interacting
good.
with the community and whatnot.
Yeah, we can't wait to see more of what goes on day to day, what business owners there are, stuff like that. But we just wanted to let
Yeah.
everyone know, keep up the good work. Things are only going to get better here. The fruits of your labor will be rewarded.
Yeah, and Goodman would have loved to be here, but he did unfortunately have something he had to attend to. So he'll be around though.
Yeah. All right. I can take over since you want to skip these people.
All right, so yeah, you guys are doing good, but there is. I've noticed that there was a lot of toxicity, and we made announcements about it and whatnot. But we're serious about that. Like, we're a community. We're here, to have fun, to build something, and to be a part of something more. And the toxicity just like, that's not tolerated here, guys. If you want to be toxic, get that shit out of here. We don't want it, and there will be
I
consequences
see.
if you guys just continually stay toxic and whatnot. Like, you just straight up be removed from the community. It's just not what we're looking for. It's not healthy for anything, and it's not the way that we like to operate. Oh, yep. Delete your account. Toxic. You're banned.
Get this guy out of here.
You get out of here. What do you think you're doing? Okay. Now the actual next topic. So like I said, we touched on it a little bit with vehicle tuning. I know Marlo works on vehicle tuning, and I believe Alan does too. So we already touched on it, kind of. You guys said that it's decent. It's just oh, no, you don't. Okay, you just okay. You know what? What the hell's going on here? What the hell's going on here? No, but it's something that we are aware of. You guys kind of seemed like you wanted some changes in meta and whatnot. So
Yeah,
I
so
think
we could
that's-
definitely start off at least by fixing the meta cars. If you guys can make a list of all the cars that people abuse and stuff and bring it to our attention, we could get those balanced so that they're not overly OP and every car is kind of on the same page. And
per
then
class, yeah.
yeah. If you guys could not in this chat, it'll be
Yeah,
So if you'll
somewhere else.
remember him, and make
This
like a
Vats-
Google Doc and open a ticket with it if you want to help
Yeah.
out with that. That'd be appreciated.
Yeah, the more info, the better. Especially with the PD cars, we'll also look into those, test all of those, make sure they are kind of representative of what the Crim cars will be too. Yeah, PD. Yeah, I heard that the speed units are, not up to par, kind of just the same as the normal patrol ones. So, yep, definitely something that we're gonna look into. Keep an eye on. Because a stalemate is kind of boring. It's good to shift things up all the time.
So yeah, make a Google Doc and bring it to our attention, and we'll worry about.
Yeah. We'll worry about that then. Okay. The next topic is Class 2s. Again, we kind of touched on it, not really. But it seems like you
yeah,
guys-
James, we could all the cars that get tuned could be in the update logs and stuff when they happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely start including those.
I know. How dare he freaking do that?
Who wants 8Ks? Just kidding. Maybe not that. Maybe not yet. Who wants AP pistols and Uzis?
Yeah, I think we should start by introducing AP, Scorpion Uzi. Sure, Molotov cocktail. Well, we'll have to touch back on the cocktails.
Yeah, those might.
Those might cause some issues. Yeah.
Something you've all been waiting for might be coming, and
Yeah. So
comes at a trade-off.
yeah. We have in our notes here that a lot of people don't want Class 2s, but I don't think that's true. I think you guys are just maybe worried about the balance and
You think it'll get out of control?
yeah, and that's not our plan. So we have a good way to kind of roll things out. You want snipers? Done.
No snipers yet.
Let's just
Yeah,
add
we would
snipers
definitely
straight
start with yeah,
Gee,
do we
when
guys
was
think
that?
they're ready now?
When
Yeah,
was
because I think that
vote?
poll was like a few months ago.
Okay.
I think they're ready now. Because yeah, after that gang event that happened last night, like they barely had AP pistols. I think they should at least start getting the small stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
we
no,
don't have
ARs
to
aren't
bring-
coming now or for a while. It would just be like the small stuff like AP pistols, Scorps, Techs,
Okay.
Uzis,
Gang system is a large
Dracos.
part of it. Yeah, and there's other ways we can do it too. With obviously with one way you can do it is with gang benches, where each gang will get a specific blueprint. There's things like airdrops. We could do airdrops where I don't know. So you do the Bobcat. Part of the loot is a flare, and you can call in an airdrop. You could get Class 2s from that. There's a bunch of different ways we can do it.
Yeah, we heard we teased airdrops the other day, and people seem to really like those. So, yeah, you have an airdrop.
They're super fun.
They can be contested, yes. So, let's
Yeah.
say you rob the Bobcat. You know how you currently get guns from the Bobcat? Instead of getting just guns, you'd get some small guns like pistols, but then you'd get an airdrop. We could introduce that if you guys want, and it would spawn in a random location. Whoever calls in the airdrop gets a 2-minute head start of where the location will be. And it'll fall from the sky out at the back of a plane.
Yeah, there'll be different locations it can land on. A battle pass. You guys want a battle pass? I mean, maybe in the future.
Yeah, I think Unscripted has one. I don't know if you guys actually wanted
see,
that.
my opinion on battle pass is like, I know you guys think it's like pay to win, but I also think that the tasks and all that stuff kind of, it gets you doing stuff. It gets you doing stuff. And stuff you wouldn't
No, the
normally
rewards
do.
wouldn't be anything crazy. It would be like brass knuckles after
Yeah.
playing.
Anyways, I don't know. We
But
wouldn't have
yeah,
to
if
talk
you guys
about
don't want it,
you
yeah,
guys
don't
want
worry.
it, so.
Don't worry.
We weren't even planning on
We were
anything
just
like
talking
that.
about it.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll definitely get Class 2s rolling in, like you said, with the new gang system, and probably a few other ways. I guess we could just touch the topic of attachments too. What's the current state of attachments right now, guys? Do you have any attachments?
Suppressors, extended mags,
Okay.
flashlights.
So we could start by introducing, like you said, flashlights, suppressors. We could do weapon skins, like the default ones. extended mags, compensators, and I think that's, we could start with just that. Marlo's working on this now. Cool.
Let's go, Marlo.
Yeah, so yeah, we could just probably throw that into crafting and some other heists and whatnot. With Ox inventory though, it's a bit weird because suppressors, I'm not sure how they work on Great, but I'm assuming that they probably don't show up on the MDT or dispatch. And with Ox inventory, which is the inventory that we currently use, you can remove attachments off of your weapons, and the attachments don't really have durability, so we'd probably have to remove the ability to... Oh, you don't have gunshot dispatch? Oh.
Do you guys want that?
You guys, yeah, why is that not a thing?
Yes, you want them back? Okay.
Let me make
write
a note
that
of
down.
that real quick, yeah.
I think it might be. I think it's because the MDT might be slow or
Yes,
something. That
we
might have
need
been.
new MDT, folks. Fuck this
Yeah,
MDT.
the dev that made the MDT is working on an update to fix the freezing and stuff, but I'm not sure if the gunshots were because of that or not. Or Vicky, if you want to come and explain it or something.
It's a good MDT when it works. Okay, so yeah, so if it's a good MDT and there's just some issues, we can polish those out and work with the dev on that. But I'm being told that it was disabled due to PD kind of injecting themselves into gunfights and possibly ruining them. So if that's true... Oh, Sal, yes, Sal saving the day.
Alright, guys. Sorry.
Fill us in.
It's 100% accurate. We would have scenes at the top of Mount Chiliad, and PD would just respond to it. As a cop character myself, this go around, it is unfortunately 100% factual that cops respond to every single shot fired. On top of that, PD also complained that during a gang war, they would get hundreds of shots fired calls. So the initial thought was to lower the chances of it being called, but I don't think G ever got to that point, so he completely turned it off.
Yeah. What we could do is, so how we have done it is, if you shoot your gun, it checks if there's any locals nearby, and if there's no locals nearby, it won't send a shots fired request. So if you're in Mount Chiliad and you shoot your gun, it won't notify the PD, but if you're in Legion Square shooting that thing up, you know, it's gonna alert them.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
And yeah, also suppressors could just not give notifications anywhere,
Yeah, but
or
like I
it could
said,
be
that's
shorter
suppressors.
radius than
In the last go around, suppressors didn't alert at all.
Yeah, we can also make it so hunting and stuff doesn't, like hunting rifles don't alert shots fired. Yeah, Mateo, that could be possible. Rangers like them. Yeah, I'm sure we can figure it all out. Make it fun.
Yeah, there just needs to be a good balance. I definitely think they should see gunshots, but it is kind of annoying if everything just gets interrupted and injected into. So we'll have to look into that and look at the balance of it and get some
Yeah,
pulls out.
I mean, that's what I was saying. The suppressor should be like small, like you have to be in the immediate vicinity, but if you're pretty far away, it won't send them off. But the regular guns without the suppressors, if locals are nearby, like far distance, then it will. No headshots. Everyone type 1, 2, 3 if you hate headshot multipliers.
I hate them too. Yeah, the city will be back up when the meeting's over. We're not going to take too much longer.
Yeah, we're only halfway there.
No. Okay, so yeah, with we'll definitely get all that.
Yeah, so
Figure
we need to
that
circle
out.
back to the PD stuff. What's your thoughts on PD shooting tires, everyone? Can we get some more context if anyone wants to come up here and explain it? Feel free to request to join. Alright, Willie, we'll get him in here.
What's up, guys?
What's
up?
going on?
Yeah, so PD has like an SOP for shooting tires when it's supposed to be after a certain amount of car swaps. They absolutely need to keep that because car swaps can get absolutely insane sometimes.
Yeah, no, I agree. If they've swapped cars like 5 times, then
I think the reason it gets brought up, because I read through that thread a few times, is probably why some people don't like it, is because sometimes, like anything, any process, they get shot out a little too quick. Like maybe they didn't even car swap. They didn't like. There was 2 situations that the guy brought up where they hadn't even done anything. They just started to drive away, like there was going to be a chase, and then they got their tires shot out. So
yeah, that's messed up.
So that's why some people don't like it at all, because of the time.
Yeah, the only time that should happen is if they're robbing something without hostages and stuff. Then just shoot their tires when they're leaving. Who cares? Fuck them. But yeah, if it's all fair and they just, but
Yeah, I think that's more like a report thing, or striking the officer and better SOPs and making sure they're followed well.
That's pretty much it.
Sean, do you want to give more information? We'll let you in here. Sal, get in here too.
I think the other thing that always gets confused, and this is kind of just my take on it from time as a cop, is if you don't have a hostage, run out of an area without any RP, you just go to get in a car, technically fleeing felon law.
What'd you say? Technically, what?
Fleeing felon law.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're armed with a gun, you've been doing a crime, and you go to get in a car without any demands, any RP at all, they could shoot your tires just to keep you from running because they have no idea what.
Yeah, I
type
think
of a
that's
threat
fair.
you are.
If you're gonna rob something without a hostage and stuff,
That's the only time I personally would do it. Shooting off the rip for tires or to disable the vehicle is if there's no hostage. Other than that, the only time we really do it is if you're getting super aggressive, ramming, or like 3 to 5 car swaps.
Okay.
That's good. Vicky said being addressed.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, hopefully by the next meeting we can say it's going down. But yeah, if you guys keep seeing it, bring it to our attention. See how the severity of it is. Sal, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I'm getting a side eye from the wife before I get in trouble. I'll go ahead and say my piece. But
Why? Is she a cop?
No. She
No, she's
family
not
time.
human.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and say this: as someone played only cop this go around, I think the tire popping stuff is fine, but what I truly think PD needs is somebody with a backbone in that leadership chain, because it seems that every time PD gets in trouble, depending on the leader, they'll venture to say different things, or they'll bow down to the gang or to the person that's yelling at them or something along those lines. I think PD in itself needs somebody who won't back down, who will stick to what the actual quote-unquote SOP is, and condition the rest of the PD to maintain that. Otherwise, we're getting these scenarios where some cops will do it, some cops don't know when to do it, some cops will do it at the wrong time, or prematurely, and it just leads to issues down the line.
If only there just so happen to be 2 people on this stage right now who used to do that, but because of a rule can't anymore.
There's a rule that they can't enforce. Wait, what? There's a rule you can't enforce the SOP?
There's 2 people up on stage with you right now, me and Willie, who both used to be high command, but because of the rule change, we're forced to step down, and if we were
with the
not
gang
afraid,
stuff?
yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean. Yeah.
I don't care,
It is
though.
what it is.
I actually kind of like the rule nowadays. I used to hate it, but I see it's
Yeah, I mean, from a fair point of view, it is pretty fair that.
No, yeah, it is fair. It took
Yeah,
me it took me weeks of fighting to make sure it was fair, but it's fair.
So I'll be respectful when I say, Sunderland, while you were in a high command position, I think it's also fair that you could help influence change within the PD, right? regardless of if you're in a leadership position or not?
Yeah, which I've been trying to do.
You can and you
Yeah.
can't though, because this actually leads into another issue where a lot of you don't want to make it seem like as a crim cop that you're just finger wagging at the current cops and egoing them, because that's a problem they already get from others. So that's why I try not, like, when I'm asked I'll give my opinion, but
How often are you asked?
I've been asked a few times. I actually have an open Leo ticket with, I guess now, well, it was with Loki and Wallace, but Loki's going to be stepping out soon, where we've bounced some stuff back and forth to each other. It started with the event thing we did.
Yeah.
We've just kept it open and kind of talked back and forth about stuff.
Good. There's not a lot of people that are doing that, though, right? They'll sit and complain about it instead of trying to take action and influence through positive change.
Yeah, well, it comes down to how you go about it too. Like, if you go about it by having a conversation with them, then you'll get more result than if you sit in the background smirking and laughing and grinning at what you think is their failure. So
Yeah, they're Tony and Benjamin. Sorry.
Okay.
There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of things here. I'm sure
Yeah,
you
I think
can
it would
grab-
also take like time for us to be able to
Yeah.
actually witness this instead of just hearing about it here.
Yeah.
What the
Yeah, I
hell's
don't
wrong?
want to sit in this meeting and try to paint some narratives that PD is bad or crims are bad. It's not at all true.
All right, guys. After this
We have a
meeting,
great
I'll be on
community with
playing
a
the
lot of great
server.
people.
I can't freaking.
It's some of the
Play.
smaller apples that take advantage of the situations or don't know how to separate emotions and real life from